When did a simple favor go horribly wrong? My friend Marilyn asked me to pawn her grandmother's necklace because she desperately needed money to pay back her dealer. The necklace would only get 800, but it was a start. She owed Hunter 12,000 and was terrified he'd see her at the pawn shop because he had eyes everywhere. The pawn shop was one of those grimy places with bars on the windows and a buzzer to get in. I walked in trying to look casual, but my heart was already pounding. I was terrified somehow someone would know I was connected to Marilyn and report back to Hunter. The owner barely looked at me, just examined the necklace with his little magnifying glass and offered me 800. I was filling out the paperwork, thinking I'd actually pulled this off when this guy sitting in the corner stood up and walked over. He'd been so still I hadn't even noticed him there, like he was part of the furniture. "That's a beautiful piece," he said, leaning over to look at it. The owner seemed nervous suddenly, his hands fumbling with the cash. The guy picked up the necklace, turning it over in his fingers, running his thumb over the ruby. "I've seen this before," he said slowly. "Ruby pendant, gold chain, little inscription on the back." He read it out loud. "To my darling Elizabeth." My stomach dropped because Marilyn's grandmother was named Elizabeth. "Your grandmother's?" the guy asked me, but his eyes said he already knew the answer. I nodded, trying to stay calm, but he smiled and shook his head. "No, it's not. I know exactly whose grandmother this belonged to." He set the necklace down gently, almost lovingly. Marilyn wore this to her cousin's wedding last month, said it was the only valuable thing her family had left. The pawn shop owner was backing away now, hands up like he wanted no part of this. The guy turned to him and said, "Give us a minute." And the owner actually went into the back room, leaving me alone with this stranger. I tried to pick up the necklace, but he put his hand over it, not aggressive, but firm. "She owes me $12,000, he said conversationally. "Been dodging me for 3 months, and now she sends someone else to pawn her dead grandmother's necklace for what, $800? I said I didn't know anything about that. Just doing a favor, but he laughed. A favor? His voice was still calm, but something in his eyes had changed, gone darker. "You know what happens when people don't pay me back." I shook my head, and he leaned in closer. "Good, you don't want to know." I tried to leave, but he said, "The necklace stays here. You're going to call Marilyn right now and tell her to come get it herself." I said I didn't have her number with me, but he grabbed my wrist. Not hard, but enough to make his point. "Don't lie to me. Everyone has their phone." My hand was shaking as I pulled it out, but I couldn't find Marilyn's number because she'd made me delete it before I came. Said she was being paranoid about Hunter tracking her. He watched me scroll through my contacts twice before he believed me. "Fine," he said, letting go of my wrist. "Then you're going to tell me where she lives." I said I couldn't do that, and he stood up, revealing just how big he was. "Either you tell me where she is, or you become responsible for her debt. That's how this works." The shop felt smaller suddenly, the barred windows looking more like a cage. I told him Marilyn was my friend, and I couldn't betray her like that. He nodded like he understood, then pulled out his phone and took my picture. "Now, I know who you are," he said. "And if you're really Marilyn's friend, she won't let anything happen to you." I backed toward the door, but he followed, staying close enough that I could smell cigarettes and something metallic on his clothes. "Here's what's going to happen," he said.